Hi guys. Well, this is Mark Teaches Music. I am Mark. And I need my little document to come back. There it is. All right. Let's see what I need to be saying. I have all these things I need to say. Okay, well, this is Mark Teaches Music. I'm Mark Black. And I want you to have fun and I want you to be awesome. That's exactly what I want you to do. And today's the 10th day of August, 2022, and this is episode 12 of Mark Teaches Music. And this is, this is episode 12 of To Play and Sing at Mark Teaches Music. And in the Play and Sing and To Play and Sing live stream, I'm trying to answer every question in the world that you might have, anyone might have, about music, focused on all aspects of learning, performing, practice skills, personalities, difficult things to do, how to work out your problems, on and on and on. And so it could be about being in a band, about being in any kind of ensemble. I've been in I've been in a barbershop quartet. I've been in all kind of different things, and classical ensembles, which I adore. To my vocal ensembles as well as orchestras and stuff. So anyway, if you just by the way, if you want more information about lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons. And if you have any questions about anything, just email me at markteaches. No, that's not right. At mark@dallasmusiclessons.com. mark@dallasmusiclessons.com. Any questions about anything? If I can help you, just ask. So I want you to jump right in and send me your questions. And I've got questions here from my students. And just send them right now. And don't wait. Don't be bashful, all you bashful ones. And just put them in the chat right down there. And I'll get to it. And I reserve the right to say I don't know. And there are just so many things I can say I don't know. And there's just a lot of things I can say I do know, or at least I have an opinion on. So if you like this, do all the things that you're supposed to do. Click hit the bell, click subscribe. The biggest thing I think is probably share this with your friends. Get your friends to watch. So please share the videos, share this live stream. So without further idiocy, I'm going to get right to questions. So the first question is, are older songs better than new songs? And we were asking something sort of like this last week, and it was, and I was talking with several people about this through this week, and old songs are not better than new songs, but people were listening to a lot greater variety of music, different kinds of sounds, and they had less of an opportunity. I'm not talking about what I talk with other people. I'm explaining about old songs versus new songs, and the reason that you should listen to lots of new songs. Old songs, and there's a bunch of reasons, and one of them is that 50 years ago, people were listening to a lot more different music, and we didn't have the capacity to be like, I don't like country, and I don't like blues, and I don't like, almost everybody, not you particularly, but almost everybody would be like, I don't like 90% of music. I just like my little 10% slice. And we didn't have that ability as much because the radio is how we got music or bought the album. And of course, if you bought an album, you buy what you like. But if you're listening to the radio, there was a huge cross section of music. My dad was I wouldn't call him a country musician, but he played country music and he played the guitar. And in his 30 albums he had the Big Bopper, and he had Beethoven, and he had barbershop quartet songs, and he had what else did he have? I'm just trying to think. I'm saying he wasn't thinking of himself like and remotely. I don't even think he did have any country music albums. Now that I'm thinking about it, but anyway, it's like a huge variety of music in his little 30 albums, and so all I'm saying is that we were exposed to a lot of music, and that made us have lots of things to pull from. So old songs are not better than new songs per se. And then there is the thing about if the only songs that you like are four chord songs, that's all you like, then you probably need to look at your liking. And you need to kind of look at it like, well, is that really all there is to music? If I could just get these four chords down, then I'd have it all. And that idea is not. It's not that it's invalid, and I've said the thing a bunch of times in these sessions. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to be challenged in your music. I hate saying that. I want to say, man, you should be on the cutting edge. You should be like, just show me something new, every day, yeah. However, that's not true. But if you consider yourself a musician, or you want to become a musician, or you'd like to become better at music, then one of the things you need to be doing is you need to be expanding and growing and getting. And how do you expand? You listen to things, new things, and harder things, and by the way, if you're a classical musician or a jazz musician, you listen to easier things and simpler things, and you say, well, why is this such a great song when it's only got four chords? And you try to figure that stuff out. Whether you liked what I just did on the piano or not, that was just there was not there's a couple of blue notes, but there's every single note was in the D scale, and thought it sounded pretty cool, really. It had lots of concepts, ideas of how to make music exciting and dramatic and these good things. And so, I'm just babbling. I'm just saying, so you listen to harder things, different things. So there's not, if you look, every single new song there's an old song like that. I don't mean it. I'm saying I'm putting them equal, old, new, equal. And I think what's different is there's in the old stuff, there's lots and lots of things that people aren't listening to right now. There's probably a song like that old song now, a newer song. But it's more that people aren't listening, I don't think, as much, because you're much more able to customize. I only want, nothing. I like Pandora's fine, but like Pandora, just circle on Taylor Swift, my favorite singer. Just give me songs like Taylor Swift. So anyway, so that's my answer for that. Okay, what I am not going to practice more than 2 hours a week. How does this affect what I should be doing? Well, honestly, I've been lying up to this point. Now I'm going to be honest. I think that's funny when students tell me that. Well, honestly, I've been lying up to this moment, but now I'm telling the truth. So anyway, honestly, there's a lot of personality that goes in with most people, the idea of only going to practice 2 hours a week. And I know a lot of you, some of you listening, hopefully not my students, but people listening would be like, wow, that dude's amazing. 2 hours a week. What an overcomer. Well, so I'm just talking. Most professional musicians, and I'm not talking about, I am talking about like, Ted Nugent or Joe Walsh, or just wild, I'm playing. They're still playing. They're probably playing 2 hours a day, and then a lot of people, depending on the instrument, are doing 4, 5, 6 hours a day. I'm just trying to give the perspective. What is a lot of practice? An hour or more is a lot of practice. A good solid hunk of practice. Most people can see success with 4 hours a week or more. 2 hours a week or more is difficult to see success because we're learning a new language and learning a physical skill. It's like I want to be a great baseball player. You say, well, I'm going to play one game of baseball a week. Is that cool? Is that going to help me? And the answer would be like, well, it'll help some. It'll help a lot, but it won't. You're probably not going to make. You certainly won't make the pros, and you probably won't make any of the whatever they call them, the farm teams, and you probably won't make any kind of college team. You probably won't make any kind of high school team. Might can make, if you're really physically talented, you might can make a junior high team or something. I'm just babbling. I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is, with the idea I'm only practice 2 hours a week, maybe first off lack of realization, what do I really have to do? I think you should really look at practicing 4 hours a week, and then are you willing? Why are you practicing 2 hours a week? So let's just take that as it is. Let's just say you're a trauma doctor, and my gosh, you're just so diligent, and you're a trauma intern, so you're kind of halfway between independent, but you also have people making you work 90 hours a week. So you really are doing great to practice. Now let's take that. That's our premise. You're great that you're practicing 2 hours a week. So, well, it means that, first off, it means that everything you do, you need to be really, now look, if you can be, everything you do, you need to be really serious about it. You need to be, again, play with the metronome. How is this exercise benefiting me? Is this the right way to do it? I played this song through. It was okay, except I had a big problem here and a big problem here. Well, instead of playing the song through 17 times, hoping to get to those two, no, just isolate those problems. So I'm talking about working smart. You work smart, and then every time you play or sing, you do it with all your heart and might, and you're like, this is it. I'm only going to get, so I'm just going to say, 2 hours a week, I'm going to get, 4 30-minute sessions. If you're in my 30-minute session, I'm not going to get another one, for 3 days, 5 days. And so your attitude is, I'm going to do the very best I can. You need to I'm talking practically, the theory, intellectual things that can be done away from your instrument or away from your voice without singing. You need to make sure you're doing those at work, or, I don't know, depending on what you're given to do or need to do, you could do it, while you're watching TV. But why are you watching TV if you're working 90 hours a week and you can't practice 2 hours? But anyway, so I'm just saying, you're looking for little nooks and crannies of time, and when can I get a little more practice in here? When can I work on this thing that doesn't require my instrument? So it affects what you should be doing a lot. Everybody should be doing those things. You practice 2 hours a day, that same person should be doing that. But as you can imagine, there's just a lot more leeway. You'd be sloppier. What a great day. I wish I was out there. So, you can spend 15 minutes doing that kind of stuff and still get double this other guy's practice, because he doesn't have the time to actually do the practice, that much practice. So everybody should be doing that sort of laser beam efficiency. It's very hard both to do it, and of course many people don't want to have that attitude. They don't want to. They do just music. I love music. Music's so wonderful. I love everyone. So, which is not wrong. I'm just saying, So what we're talking about for everybody is everyone has a attitudinal starting. So I'm not getting on anybody. I'm just saying everybody has an attitudinal starting point. With my great attitude or my sorry attitude or it's all the only thing I know to do, says the person, and you come in or going like, well, we need a little attitude adjustment to help do better. So you only go to practice 2 hours a week, or you only can practice 2 hours a week. Try to be as focused as you can be. I don't mean to push lessons, but if you have a really good teacher, you need to trust them, because usually you could just, by the way, if you have to take lessons with anybody, or you buy a new book or you try a new method, give it 3 to 6 months. If it's a teacher, give them 6 months. If it's a technique, give it 3 months. And if you don't see good results in 3 months for a technique, 6 months for a teacher, you need to find another one. But let's say you got a teacher you trust, so then do what he says. Because if he says, like, wow, you can't practice, and he's telling you, well, do this, and this, presumably that he or she is kind of overseeing what you want, and like he wants to accomplish this, so he needs to do this, and he's not going to put in the time to produce this, but maybe this will get him around it. And just for everyone, different things work for different people. Some people can outsmart. They can use their brain to get ahead. Some people can use their physical skill. And I'm not talking about practice at this moment. I'm just saying it's like when you really concentrate on your fingers working, and your fingers do work real well, or you have a great ear. So looking for those strengths that help you scoot another hour not of time, but of progress. You progress more than you should have because you have these extra things. Everybody's got these extra things. Different people have them in different measure, different components that make for a skill like this. Okay, do I have to play the parts of a song exactly as they go, or can I change them? You cannot change a classical piece of any type. Um, you have a little options in there. You can. The perfect way to play a classical piece is to. I hate to be this detailed, but is to look at, if you have the time, is to look at the period to understand. We have the medieval period, the Renaissance, and the Baroque period, and the classical period, and the Romantic period, and the Impressionist, and the postmodern, and like that. And what people were thinking. What people. I'm just real quick. What were people thinking in this time period as musicians? What were thinking? What is this musician? What's he like? And then you have your interpretation, in the sense that you can go a little faster, you can emphasize different little things, but you cannot change the rhythms, you can't change the notes. But so we would look at it as sort of a big hunk of it. Here's my screen. I'm using my screen. Yeah, that'll work. So this much of it is, no, this is what this dude did, and then this other little hunk, no, it's over here. This other little smaller hunk, 20%, 50% is my interpretation or my spirit coming through there. So you can't change those now. And also, like rock songs, blues songs, jazz songs. Well, ignore jazz songs for a minute, but rock songs, blues songs, they may have a hook. So if I play "Stairway to Heaven" and I go, I think I said this. Oh, if I went, like this. Woo! That's the chords. Or even if I did it, even I did one like this. Stairway to Heaven, and many rock songs, many blues songs, many country songs have a hook. They have a thing that's identifying them as, this is so and so song. I gotta this. Oh, I'm trying to think of something. I don't have a pick of man. Even that much. Just the first two. It's like, if I'm gonna play "Sweet Home Alabama," I have to play that, and I can't change it, I can't amend it. It's exactly like the classical piece, because that is the hook. That is the thing we say. Hey, that's so and so. That's money. I have to play that. If you're not playing that, you're not playing money. I'm just talking about that. Then usually the hooks and things are short, and if you're talking about chording a song, like strumming along with the song. So you can change a lot of things in pop songs, which is everything to the classical musician. That's everything but classical, including jazz, pop music, and to the jazz musician, jazz and classical are the only real music, and pop is everything except jazz and classical. So anyway, so you need to learn what you can change. So you can, like for example, a solo in a famous song. If you go to see a band, just for example, I'm just gonna pick Rush. I have no idea. I know some songs by Rush, the group Rush, but I can't think of what they are. XYZ or something like that. So anyway, I'm just saying, I have no idea. I've never been to a concert. Picking a name of a group, go Rush concert. If I go to famous band X concert and we get to this place in their song where the famous solo happens in this particular song, there's a 50% chance the guy will play it note for note, because his fans will stone him to death if he doesn't, and there's a 50% chance he'll say, "Screw you guys, I play what I want." I made up. Then you all have to realize he made up the first solo, right? He created the first solo, so to him it's not like, to him it's like, hey, this is one of 1700 solos I've done. and he may play every time he plays it a different solo, or he may play the same solo, uh, depending on what the band does. So I'm using that as a proof to say when you get to the solo in a song, many times you can, most of the time you can make up your own solo. You may have to do or need to do a couple of bars of the opening solo to be kind of like, yes, this is definitely a so-and-so song, but there's a lot of leeway there. So in general, in my opinion is that in learning, I want to start with try to do what the other person did. My assumption is, and usually true, that this person who did this song, or this group that did this song, they're famous, they're amazing, they're skillful, they're musically gifted, they're all these things that I'd like to be. So I'd like to start with learning how to do what they did. That would be a wonderful start if I could just do what they did. So if I could just do what Larry Carlton did, what a great start. And after I could do, this is not always, but after I can do what they do, then I can add my own things to it. And of course, when we get to a performance, we sometimes have the original standard. This is what they did, and it's like, well, I can't get to that. And frequently, I'm not pushing this. I'm just saying, a lot of times, if I say, well, instead of trying to do what this guy did, if I just do my own thing, what I can do well, my solo will sound just as good as their solo. It just won't sound like their solo. And that's okay. So I'm sorry that it's so vague. So in general, you can't change things. You can amend them, but you can't just say, I'm not going to do this. Now, if you're doing, this is, I can't think of the name of the group, not the group, it's not a site either. What do you call those things? Channel, postmodern something or other. It's a very cute channel, and they do covers of songs. I'm trying to get over here to them. Just trying to get their name. I don't think I can play it without, copyright alarms. I don't know. Postmodern jukebox. And they just take, like they did a Careless Whisper, and they do it like a 1930s jazz thing. I feel so unsure. Dance floor. So if you're doing that stuff, that's not necessarily making fun of it. You're trying to change. You do a cover, you make changes. That's fine. That kind of stuff is different. You're saying, I am making changes. And like I said a second ago, you may have to make changes. I cannot play this riff. I cannot play this thing he does. So I will be making changes. So my point right at the moment is also the difference that right now is kind of there's a little difference between what you're trying to accomplish in all of your music and your effort, and that's like hey, he did it, and I want to be able to do what he did. But another idea is, well, I got to do it tonight, and so a real live performance demand. I may have to make some changes because of that. Okay, well, there's that. Let's see. What do I do when I miss lots of practice or days and weeks of lessons? So what do I do when I miss a lot of practice or days and weeks of lessons? Well, the first thing is that seriously, do not, even if you had a rotten reason for not practicing, as in, I don't wanna practice, I hate it, practice, no, you're not gonna make me practice, no. I have very important things to do, and I absolutely cannot practice. So there, quit trying to make me practice. Talking to themselves. Even if you have really bad reasons for not practicing, when you're ready, when you come to your senses, oh my gosh, I'm the one who likes music. I'm the one who wants to get good at this. This is for me. I think this is great. So when you come to your senses, don't be guilty. Just jump in and just ignore. For the last 10 days, I didn't do anything. You got to just ignore what you. I'm talking about if you had a bad reason. So if you had a bad reason, just ignore it. And if you had a good reason, and it was just like, I'm serious. My mom was sick, or we had a family vacation, or all kind of great reasons. I've been sick. It doesn't matter. You still feel bad about it, and what you have to do is just cut it off. It's over. And here we are now, talking about attitudinally. What do I do when these things happen? I can't practice attitudinally. I need to just kind of forget what went behind me and look forward to what's ahead, what I can do, what can happen now. And so you do not, and you cannot, just along this the same idea, you cannot do penance days. It usually does not do a good idea. It's usually not a good idea. Listen, it usually is not a good idea to do penance practice. I can really only practice 45 minutes a day, or 45 minutes I'm going to, try to get you to do 45 minutes 5 days a week, or 40 minutes 6 days a week, whatever. So I'm saying this is what I want you to do. So, I can just barely do that, but I missed for 2 weeks and I suck. So, I'm going to practice 2 hours a day, and that usually doesn't work, because usually, if I'm not saying you can't increase your practice, I'm saying that penance practicing, trying to make up what you missed, usually doesn't work, because there's a reason you're only practicing 40, 45 minutes or 30 or 20, whatever you're doing. There's a reason for that. And usually you just end up in a bigger cycle of, now I didn't practice for 3 weeks, So anyway, just jump back in, get going. And now when it's like a vacation, or I'm going to be or work. I know I'm not going to be able to practice for 2 weeks, and no matter what I do, it doesn't matter what great attitude I have, I will not be able to do it. So you're trying to see if is there a way I can practice anything. Can I practice? Can I take some theory or ear training? Listen to headsets and sing perfect fifths, ba ba. And I'm just making stuff up. Can I count this rhythm? I can take this little sheet with me and work on these rhythms. And how? And what we're saying is, music. We're learning a new language. And it's not an easy language, because it's really more like learning a new culture. I'm fixing to move to Mongolia. And not only do I need to learn Mongolian, I need to learn the customs, and I need to, dress like a Mongolian, and I need to blah blah blah. It's just so I'm fixing to become a musician, and I not only got to learn all these scales and things. I gotta do it like, I gotta do it like, Barbra Streisand or something. I'm saying is I gotta all of it. I gotta get it all. So. So anything you can do to keep yourself in that culture of music, so like theory, something like that, would be a great thing. And any other little parts you can do. And for most people, if you have a severely reduced practice time, that is, I can practice 15 minutes. If it were me, probably what I would do is, like if I had 15 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, suddenly, and it's good. I would be like, one day I try to do as many exercises, skill builders as I can, as exercises as skill builders, and then the next day I try to do my piece or pieces. I try to do that. So just keeping my finger in the music. I'm still connected with music. So when you come back, it's not like, that's a guitar. I think a G chord is probably got a G in it. I'm saying, so it's not like that. It's kind of like, well, I'm rusty, or I'm not super familiar, but I'm okay. I'm within the boundaries. So let's see here. Well, let's see here. Oh dear. Okay. Well, anyway. All right. So anyway, there's the answer to that. Now, let's see. Learning. I don't disagree with this at all. Learning music is overwhelming. Where do I start? Okay. What you start with in music is listen to these ideas. You say what? Hold on a second. You say so. I just want to say this correctly, what this person has asked. Where is it? Right there. Okay. So you start with this idea, these kinds of ideas. I'm not. This is my little thing to say. But this idea, it's like I'm trapped on a desert island. I'm never going to be able to leave. Uh, and I've got, for some reason, the battery on my phone never messes up. And so, what would I like to listen to for the rest of my life? You know, what band or two bands? You know, what kind of music is it? What instrument is playing? Is it vocal music? You know, what would bless me if I could just do one? Now I'm kind of off the island now. This is the same idea. I can only do one thing. I can only play classical music. I could only play jazz. I could only play rock. I could only play the guitar. I could only, what would that be if I could only play one thing? You know, now a little bit of it affects a little, there's some little issues like if you're 78 years old, that sounds like you're pretty old. You're 78 years old and you want to be a classical concert pianist and you've never played a note in your life, that's probably not going to happen because anybody saying that, if you're 10, I want to be a classical, and your parents are like, yes, you will do this, you will be the classical great concert pianist. If that was all working, still, it's like saying I'm going to be in the NBA when I'm 10. I'm going to be in the NBA. You know, we'll see. You know, but anyway, so you're 78, and you say something. So there's physical limits. We could say you don't have enough time to do that. I'm talking about before you die, or you missing some things. But the basic idea is you should head directly for what you want to do, and there are some caveats. Some things people have to work. I've had students that don't have to work hard at all for their goals. Because they're very gifted or their goals aren't very big or whatever, and other students that my gosh, their goals are huge and they're not that good, and so it's like, I don't mean they're not good enough to do it. They could be not good enough to do it. I'm not saying that couldn't happen. I don't mean at this moment an issue of how capable they are. It's like that person is a long way to go. Are they, and here's the question, are you going to be able to hold out for 5 years? Or 10 years to get to that? Are you going to be able to, are you going to turn around in 6 months and say, well, I was headed to be a classical concert pianist and this 6 months hadn't got me too far, well, duh, I'm saying, well, duh, it's like, so anyway, so where should I start? You should start with what you love. You should try to figure out what you love and try to separate. The Hebrew word for understanding means to separate, to choose. So if you have understanding, you're able to choose. So you need to, and it's hard. I mean, I play the instruments, the number of instruments I do, because I do not want to choose. I don't want to say I can't play the clarinet. I don't want to say that. Many instruments I can't play, by the way. So I'm, and then just commenting on the practical. And so there's practical things for you. It'd be like, well, do I have enough time to practice this? If you want to play classical guitar, if you want to be in the same world, I want to play fingerstyle guitar, I want to play classical guitar, I want to play chord melody jazz guitar. That takes a lot of time. You're not going to do that in 10 minutes a day, no matter what you say. You might do it in an hour a day adequately. It probably won't be that amazing. It might be all right, So I'm just saying, but the big thing is, do what you like. Do what you love. And then you have to some people have to sit and think, what is it that I love? What do I think is exciting and dramatic and powerful and worth all the time I'm spending? And that's a really good guide. And don't do things because you're supposed to. I talked last week about the idea that, okay, 300 years ago, we'd be like, okay, I'm going to be a vocalist. And then they'd be like, okay, society, you're should be a vocalist. And so it's going to happen. You're going to do that. So they would say for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're not going to sing a note. You're just going to do exercises and scales until you get this perfect mechanism. Whoa, your voice is just does everything you want it. And that's a great idea if you know you're never going to fail. You're never going to, you're not going to change your mind. You're not going to want to do different kind of music. But most people do not have that option. They're problems, attitudinal problems, money problems, a whole bunch of problems. So anyway, start with what you love and look at the consequences, the difficulties. Okay, so all right, now let's see. How do you learn to play and sing at the same time? That's a good question. Okay, how do you learn to play and sing at the same time? It's basically just coordination. It is. Pat. Here I'm rubbing, patting my head, rubbing my stomach. Watch, I'll let's see what am I patting? Yeah, there it goes. Can I do it? Oh, this is the easy way. Watch this. So look, I'm rubbing I do my chest so you can't see my stomach. I'm patting my head, rubbing my stomach. Check it out. And then you say, can you switch? And then while they're trying to do it with the same hand, you just change hands. See, now it sounds easy to do. Okay. Anyway, it's a coordination issue. All playing and singing is. It's like, and it is true that what you're singing and what you are strumming or playing on the piano or the ukulele is not the same rhythm. They're related. They're connected. So what you do is you take a very, very simple song, and a lot of simple songs, what we think of as a simple song, are not simple songs. So I want to take a minute and define a simple song. And a simple song would be a song basically where the chords don't move quickly, they don't change a lot, and the melody doesn't move quickly. So I, at this minute, have got nothing in my mind, but I'm going to come over here and create a song with this guitar, and it would be nice if I had a pick. But I'm just saying a song that would go like this. It would go like, so I can go, and here's my chord's lasting a long time, right? See, it's lasting a long time. So I got a long time on that chord. I don't have to think about it, So now my melody is something like, better, you, baby, you, baby, Slim Shady, you're crazy. So I'm saying the melody was slow, the chording, whether it's on the piano or whatever instrument, is slow as well. That gives me time, basically coordination, to figure out how to slip in my changes. And as always, you would practice. Now look, this is the same thing for right and left hand on the piano. So you got singing and you got playing. So you should work on your singing and make sure that's very good, and work on your playing and make sure that's very good, and then try to put them together. I feel like, it's my experience, I don't know if it's a law that cannot be changed, but it's my experience that if you try to perfect that, it's perfect and amazing singing, and it's perfect and amazing playing with your accompaniment instrument. It seems to me to be a bit hard to fit those together, because so they're sort of like, they have glues, and you put one on one side, one on the other, and before they are dry, you put them together and it sticks forever. But if you wait till they're dry, they don't stick. So it's kind of like that. So I feel like it's kind of like, what I'm saying is you get the vocal to a B or a B plus, and you get the guitar to a B or B plus, and then you try to stick them together, rather than getting them, A plus plus, and then it's kind of like, I don't need you, voice, says the guitar, and I don't need your piano, says the voice. So okay. I don't remember if we. This is the last question, yeah. But I feel like we've answered this before, but here it is. It is, I am shy. So this is the last question. I am shy. I don't want to perform in public. What should I do? Well, the first thing, of course, now 85% of all musicians, including the people whose albums you buy, are affected by their audience. They may, well, I should say everyone is. The 15 that I was ignoring for the moment, they're jazzed by their audience. Whoa, this couldn't be any better. There's an audience here, and so that's a positive advantage. Let's say 85% of people are negatively impacted by their audience. And out of that 85, let's keep it at the whole 100, everyone. So 35% of the people who are affected, they're only somewhat affected. It's like a 5% degradation, as opposed to I'm crying in the corner. And then so then maybe another 35% are negatively enough affected by the audience that they they don't do that good if they don't work on it. So first off, let me say, if I told you, hey, the reason you're singing badly is because you have a nasal tone, is because you need to drop your tongue, open your throat for a round, full sound, and you would say, oh, and you would try that. And if I said, hey, you need to do your fingers like this to play this certain thing, and you'd be like, oh, okay. So if I say, which I am saying, you're probably never going to perform like you like it by yourself. You're probably not sitting at home going to play like you like, as a straight up fact, unless you can perform for others. And that's my hearty experience, that I've never come across anybody yet who's embarrassed to play in front of, who will not, I would say it this way, who will not play for other people, who's just like, it doesn't happen that way, because what the product people want, and I've said this, what's on your album, what's on your playlist, what's on your phone, it's not, puny little or accurate, it's not accurate or wimpy. It's dramatic and powerful and gripping and the most beautiful and the most exciting. And how could anybody play that fast? And it's so up in your face. These are all different things. Different people liking different things, but all of that music is gripping music. Gripping, exciting, dramatic, dynamic music. And so I'm saying that's what you like. That's what everybody likes. So you've got to learn to do that. And it's very hard to do that without, it's not the audience, it's the audience is there, kind of, they love you and they're for you, but you feel like somebody's going to come out in the audience and go like, you suck, die, like that. That's not going to happen, but that's what you feel like. So that's not happening. But in the face of that, you are getting together your product, and you're like, I've got to count still, and I've got to sing with emotion, and I've got to, all the things you want to do. And when you overcome that, you are making a more and more and more dramatic, powerful, exciting outcome of your music. So you're shy. So what do you do? So I'm saying, first I'm just saying, you got to treat this like, I got to get over this, and not because I want to become a professional singer in front of everybody, but because I want to sound good. That's all. I just want to sound good. I want to sound good. I want to sound like my stuff on my thing. And so anyway, so what do you do? So you're looking for the path of least resistance in a good way. So you're saying, okay, I need to, and you need to play for somebody. So the first thing you can do is you can make a recording, just a little audio recording or video, and you can put it on YouTube. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. But make a little recording, little video, and send it to your very best friend, or send it to your mom, or send it to 2 friends. And I'm saying, and they send it to 5 friends. And we don't have to keep that up, because soon what you need to do is you need to be like, hey, Mom, I need to play my song for you, or best friend, or husband, I need to sing for you, and just, I'm talking about the least intensity we can find. It's just so, but it has to have a little intensity. It could be, as something as simple as playing for your children or something. But I'm saying, though, the least intensity you can find, but it has to have some. Because if you don't care about that person listening to you, or you'll know if somebody's worthy of playing for in terms of developing independence and strength in your performance. You'll know if you have a little bit of fear or trepidation in the idea of playing and singing for them. If there's a little bit there, then it's worth doing. If there's none there, it's not going to help you at all for the idea of I am getting over being shy. And so what we'd like to do is work that little edge of a little bit, very little bit of pressure, performance pressure. People are watching me, or a person's watching me, and like, hey, I played, played for 3 of my friends and my mom and like this, and it's like, well, let me see now if I can go do play them 2 songs, or if I could play for 2 people at once, or if I could play for this more scary person. And what you're trying to do is have multiple, and I do mean multiple, performance experiences. But a performance experience for you may just be, and it's fine if it is, just my neighbor who I like, and this person and this person, and again, you can do that for a long time, and you just know that it doesn't do you any good whenever you don't care. If you don't care if Johnny hears you because you played for him 20 times, good for you. You're a lot more secure because you did that, and your playing is secure, is what I'm saying. It's hardened, it's strengthened. But in addition to that, if you, because you play for Johnny 20 times, you don't care, then you're at the whole time you're going through Johnny, you think, well, who do I do now, or what do I do now? And so you're trying to get many performances with the goal of, hey, I am getting more and more used to playing for other people. So you would look at it like a problem, like you have problems with your left hand. It's not as coordinated as it should be. So you wouldn't just go, oh well, too bad. And particularly on this one, because it kind of curses all your playing. Okay, well, I'm done. Thanks a lot. And let's see what I want to say. I want to say, if you, again, for more information about lessons, go to dallasmusiclessons.com. And you have any questions about anything, just send me an email about any musical thing at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com, mark@dallasmusiclessons.com, and email me, and I'll try to answer your questions. And as always, until I see you again, I want you to have fun, and I want you to be awesome, okay? See you.